Maybe I'll just set up a TV behind me. You want to say something real quick?
Everybody trying to be content creators and trying to go viral. You want to go viral?
Okay, you want to go viral. Let's go viral then.
Say less.
Let go.
Let's embrace it. Let's love it. Let's enjoy it. And let's give them the experience of their life. That's Roswell for you, baby. Come together. And guys, this is Speaking Out Loud. I appreciate you guys joining us. Don't forget to share and dance like you just don't care. It's early in the morning. Let's have a day. And like I said, be a friend. Tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Shout out PMS.
Good morning and welcome to Speaking Out Loud. I am your host, Rene Ruiz, and along with me is the man with the bodies, the man with the tries, the one with the broad chest, the one, the only John Borba.
Yo. What's going on?
Johnny, I can... And whenever she walks up to me, she's like, the man with the bias, the man with the bias. That's forever going to be the intro. So I hope you like it, bro, because I don't know that it's going to go anywhere anytime soon. Bro, hell of a weekend this weekend, man. We had a hell of game, starting with the one that kicked off on Saturday. Buffalo coming up short. Josh Allen in the interviews, shedding some tears. Looked awfully sad. Broncos get a big win. Bo Nix goes down with a broken ankle, from what I believe, and they win 33-30. Following that, Seattle, that was a big and emotional dunk from that Denver Buffalo game. It was so up and down. You didn't really know where it was going to go. You were kind of hoping Superman delivered. He came up just a bit short. And then following that game was the Seattle-San Francisco game. And it was almost like it kind of – I don't know if this is how you felt, but when I was watching that game, I was so drained from the Buffalo Bills Denver Broncos game that I was okay with Seattle just coming out and just putting a butt whipping from the beginning, from Shaheed running that kickoff all the way to score, and Seattle getting a victory 41-6. To me, it was almost like a perfect setting, kind of put me to rest. Then I woke up, went to church, had a good time, or listened to church. Actually, I didn't actually go to church, but I listened to church. I had to, because I had to go to work early in the morning. But man, that Houston versus New England, the weather was beautiful. Snow was coming down. It was playoff football at its best out there in New England. They get a massive win, 28-16. Gosh, you got to feel bad for CJ Stroud. Probably had the worst nightmare of his life the last 2 weeks. Has had the worst nightmares of his life the last 2 weeks. They dropped 28-16 to the New England Patriots. And then last night, JB, let's get right into this one, man. What a game from the Rams and the Chicago Bears. That was playoff football at its finest. The Rams squeak out a win in overtime, 20-17. But Mr. Ice Cold had an opportunity to go out there and win the game and just came up short, JB. What was your thoughts on that game last night?
Sorry, dude. I was just laughing at Earl's background. he's where the he's with the rest of the Packers team right now in Cancun.
We're welcoming the Bears today.
Bears are new.
What a road job
going up today. So
this is awesome.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Packer enthusiast and bear hater, along with Mr. Earl, with John Borba, Earl Robinson. Hey, Rob, what's up, bro?
My Packers have been here, unfortunately, for a week. We're welcoming the Bears today, which feels good. The Cowboys, they've got the chairs closest to the beach. They've been here since week 12.
Yeah.
But we're starting to take more teams.
Yep.
We were keeping it warm for you guys. And E-Rob, that right before the show you were like, hey, I wonder if this is real. Micah Parsons tweeted, "We are all here now." And let me show you guys. It actually is real. I thought it was a joke at first too, but this is as legit as it gets. Micah Parsons shooting it on Twitter. Caleb Williams throwing the ball. We are all here now in Cancun. This is the ultimate shot, especially after. Oh, you guys can't see it.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, after all the hate from that was going on with Matt LaFleur and Ben Johnson, this is actually perfect. That Micah Parsons kind of steps in a little bit, throws a little subtle jab, and ultimately we all end up in the same place. Some of us just get here a little bit later. So you tell me who the real loser is. If I've been having fun since November and you losers just barely showed up to the end of this party.
Yeah.
That's so sad, bro.
reserved.
That's so sad.
Yep. You guys are reserved.
Hey, but let me ask you guys. All right, let's set the tone here. That Rams game last night, going into overtime. To me, my takeaway from that is I feel bad for you guys. You guys are going to have Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, a young core for what seems like for the next 15 years. DJ Moore, miscommunication on that final play for them to go down there and score. What was your takeaways from that game, though, Borba?
For me, solid game. I mean, it was a good game to watch for sure. My biggest takeaway, I think, is from the Bears and Caleb Williams and this whole dynamic between him and Ben Johnson. Because, I mean, we see the heroic fourth down play, and he just throws it up in the corner of the end zone, and it's caught by Cole Kmet. We forget about the two plays before that, right? We forget about like what I kind of mentioned last week, the 5 yard out route on second down, misses that throw, go to first and goal. And then on third down, he overthrows DJ Moore on that like dig post route going over the middle in the end zone, overthrows that. So for me, it's the inconsistency. It's always been the inconsistency. And then it sets up for a dramatic fourth down heroic play that was just awfully like, I don't know, maybe because the play was breaking down. Obviously, the play was breaking down. You don't expect anything to come out of that. Maybe that's why it was just Kobe Durant just didn't cover that very well. Single coverage in the corner of the end zone. That play gets off, and all of a sudden, it's a game now. I was honestly kind of surprised the Bears didn't go for two. Because after having all that luck right there, I mean, that's luck, dude. I don't care what anybody says. Like, it's not sustainable football. So for me, I'm like, okay, we just scored. Like, we have a chance to have a great upset. Like, let's go for two, But I understand the high risk of that, but I mean, it's high risk, high reward. And then another thing that we saw a little bit better this week of was taking care of your possessions and getting points out of them. Early in that game, it was 4th and 3. The first drive of the Bears. The Bears got the kickoff. They're taking the ball downfield. 4th and 3. You go for it and you don't get it. That's 3 points. 3 points that you miss out on. And for me, I always say like first drive of the game. As soon as you get the ball, first half, if you're in position to get points and you're going for it on fourth down, you're taking off points that like I understand in the second half if you got to chase points or do something, but in the first half, if you got the ball get your 3 automatic points. So coaching a little bit, risky and all that stuff, and of course the last play of the game. But for me, like I said, Caleb Williams is consistency. It's been like that all year, and I don't know if him and Ben Johnson are ever going to get on the same page when it comes to being consistent to not allow these crazy fluke play because this isn't going to happen next year. I guarantee you, they are not going to have 6, 7, 8 comebacks, whatever it is. It's just not consistent. So for me, you need consistent quarterback play. It's still not consistent, and that's why you're getting all these crazy plays because we don't see what leads up to it. Everybody forgets what leads up to this.
No, yeah, for sure. And I found a little bit of disrespect as I'm scrolling X and I see people compare Caleb Williams to Steph Curry because of these crazy plays that just happen sporadically. But to me, it's like it's the same thing we've been saying all year. You can't just show up in the fourth quarter and expect to win every game. Eventually, that luck is going to run out, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, it was such a beautiful ending. At one point, I did catch myself thinking that I was going for the Bears there at the end whenever Caleb Williams steps back about 10 steps and just kind of throws somewhat what looks like a fadeaway. So I think that's the only reason that someone would compare him to Steph Curry because it kind of looks like the Olympics when Steph Curry's guarded by two people, does the step, kind of throws it just up. But that's something that he practices. Not to say that Caleb Williams doesn't, but it only seems to come out late in games. And as we saw, they came up short just a little bit. E-Rob, what are your thoughts on Caleb Williams as of that game last night?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Borba. I won't restate everything, but like you look back at that 4th and 4 play, and it ended up being a 45-yard Hail Mary throw when it was 4th and 4 with like 30 seconds left. They had 2 timeouts. Like, I understand that Caleb got pressure right away, but if he doesn't make that throw, everybody's criticizing, why did you run backwards 30 yards? Like, try and get outside the pocket, try and hit something just quick with somebody in your face. All you got to do is get 4 yards. It wasn't a Hail Mary type play. And like Borba said, like, you run that 50 times and they connect on it once. Like, I mean, great throw. Can't take anything away from Caleb on the throw. He's super athletic. He got backwards, but like there was for sure an element of luck in making that happen. Like nobody is going to sit there and say, "Let's draw this up and run this play next year," where you sprint backwards 30 yards and heave it up. Like the game should have ended there, but the ball has just bounced the Bears' way. Like once again, once you said 7 comebacks this season. And that was the opposite of if you think back to the Bears last year. Like they lost on a Hail Mary. Like I think they were 4-0 or 5-0. And then Jaden Daniels hits them with a Hail Mary in Washington. And that started their losing streak. And they had several games where they lost by, a single score and the ball just did not bounce their way. They had the opposite this year where, 7 comebacks. If you think about it, they won 11 games. Even if you say next year they get 4 out of 7 comebacks, like that puts them down to 8 wins. You take 3 wins off right there. And I mean, I don't want to take away everything from the Bears. I think they had a great season. I think that offense is going to be competitive for years to come. But Caleb's got to work on the consistency, like you said. Once again, last night I think he was about 57% completion, and we can talk about some drops, the weather, etc. But you look at his whole season completion percentage, and it's not high. I think you want to be in the mid 60s, not the mid 50s. I think back to one of the drives where there was like a 4-yard out route, I think to Luther Burden, and he completely throws it, out of bounds. And it's like, I don't understand how you can make the Hail Mary type plays, the plays last week against the Packers, and then just not consistently hit these like
Exactly.
intermediate 5 to 10 yard throws. And I think if he can improve on that, the Bears are going to be tough because Caleb is so elusive. But until you can consistently do that, it's going to be hard for them to sustain that success.
Yeah, one of our most watched videos on TikTok is JB going, I don't understand how this dude cannot complete a 5-yard out route, but just throws something up and it like goes, it goes in. It's like,
Yeah.
what the hell? And it is confusing watching him. I mean, you look at his stat line and it's 23 for 42, 257 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 54.8 completion rate. If you were just to read that, you'd be like, man, this guy this guy was CJ Stroud. Like legitimately, if you just look at the stat sheet, you're confused. You're just as confused as you are right now this morning. And as much as we want to praise him, as much as we want to just give the Bears their flowers, it's like it's hard not to be like, yeah, this team's just gotten lucky. And sometimes that does happen, right? Like how you just said, Erup, with Washington last year. Now it makes you wonder, like, there's always a team that kind of goes 360 on their head. This year was the Commanders. Like, will that be the Bears next year? Will that luck go away? I mean, for you guys too, right, JB? Y'all kind of went through that as Vikings fans from 2 years ago where it felt like you guys were always in one possession losses. Then you guys put it on its head with Sam Darnold coming in. You guys are one of the best teams in the league. And then now, not to throw a shot at you, but I mean, now look what's kind of going on. So you wonder if like, if the Bears, I mean, do you guys feel like the Bears? I know JB last week you said next year Bears aren't going to be in this situation. They're going to miss the playoffs. Would you agree with him there, E-Rob, or are we just hating a little bit?
I think it'll be tougher. I mean, if you think about it, they had some good. They were a better team 2 years ago than a 5-12 team, right? Like I said, they lost some games like that Commanders Hail Mary. Like they easily could have gone 8-9, 9-7 that year before Ben Johnson got there. But then, you get a top 10 draft pick again. They get Loveland. He's great. They had a second round draft pick that's at the top. Luther Burden, he also showed up this year. And then they went all in free agency with their offensive line, getting a center and 2 guards. I don't think they'll be able to reconstruct the roster this offseason like they did last offseason, just due to cap space. Now they're picking at the back half of the draft, which they haven't done in, I don't know, since 1985. And so it'll be interesting to see, how they add talent to that roster, because when you have a top 10 pick for 30 years, like you're bound to acquire some talent. So, and I was going to say, they go from playing, right? If you think about how the schedule is determined, you look at how did your division finish. And when you say, like, say the NFC North is going to play the NFC East, like first place plays first place. Second place plays second place. Well, the Bears were fourth place last year. So they got the easiest strength of schedule out of the whole division. Next year, they'll have the hardest strength of schedule because they won the division. So that, coupled with the comeback wins, like I don't know if I'll say that they won't make the playoffs. It's hard to say that, but they're not above the Packers or even the Lions, I would say, as far as winning the division next year. And they only won 2 division games, and they should have lost both of them. They should have gone 6 in the division.
Yeah, for sure. And still ended up the second seed in the NFC. Doesn't make sense sometimes. It doesn't make sense, but man, the run that they went on this year was insane. It was fun to watch. I will say that. It was fun to judge it. We were on the other side of the judgment with the Bears, what it seemed like all season, but ultimately luck did run out for these boys, and now they are with Micah Parsons in Cancun. Man, what a game. What a game. 2017. Now let's look at the Rams. The Rams, last week I said my takeaway from the Rams was that this team is still the best team in the league. They somehow find a way to kind of shoot themselves in their own foot and get in their own way. They were still able to squeak out this game. How do we feel about the Rams, JB?
Man, the Rams are kind of hard to judge. I mean,
So
you look at
confused.
it, and for me, I just thought they were going to run away with this game, and it never happened. Sometimes you get some cold moments with Stafford. The offense really isn't moving. It gets a little stagnant sometimes throughout the game, and the defense just doesn't seem like it. This was like a top 5 defense through I think like week 11 or 12, and then since then they've given up more points per game. They just haven't been as consistent. So for me, they're a little inconsistent. The defense just isn't playing as good as it was, and then the offense gets a little bit of stagnant. And like I said, you still got Puka. I mean, you still got Devontae Adams. You got Kyron Williams over there. The 3 tight end scheme that they run is tough to stop. Um, so they have a lot of things. It's just putting 4 quarters together. And I think from what we've seen from a couple other teams, I mean, really only one other team this year is consistent play through all fourth quarters, and that's Seattle. So that's who you're going against for the third time this year, which is who knows how that game's going to end up. I have no idea who's going to win that game. But when it comes to consistency, the Rams are just not there for 4 quarters. But you could say that about all these teams, except I think you could exclude Seattle from that. I think they've been the most consistent, and they've been the best team in football for I don't know, 6, 7 weeks already. So maybe longer, but I just think it's inconsistency still. And you get the great plays out of Stafford when he needed to make the plays last night. He made the plays. He made some great throws. That sideline catch to Devontae Adams and in overtime right there. Man, that was a great throw. He made a couple really great throws, and that's the difference sometimes. A great throw like that instead of a 30-yard backpedaling, scrambling, throw it up and see what we get out of it. That's just not the way to win, And with Stafford, that's what you're going to get out of Stafford. You're going to get some great throws, and that's what we saw. So I just need 4 quarters of consistency.
Yeah, and that defense did show up yesterday, so kudos to them getting 3 interceptions, 1 to seal the game, and the 2 from the little guy that they kept targeting. Damn, what's his name? What's his name? I'm drawing a blank here.
Bryant?
Buddy that had 2 interceptions.
Who, Bryant?
Yeah, there we go. What a dog, man! Keeping him in the game, but most importantly, the one to close out the game there in overtime. Rob, what was your takeaway from the Rams?
Yeah, I mean, I was disappointed with the offense for sure. I was surprised that McVay could not scheme anything up against that slot blitz. That the announcers said it last night. Like that's what the Bears ran in the second half against Green Bay. So it was not a surprise. Like they had a week to scheme it up. And ultimately, I mean, I felt like they were throwing, like, I think about that last drive before the game winning field goal, and they took 2 shots to the end zone. Neither of the 2 were to Puka or Adams. Like, why do they not throw the ball to their best players? They're not getting double covered. You can't double cover when you're blitzing like that. So, like, I would much rather have. I'll take either of those 2 against any DB that the Bears have. If you're going to throw a jump ball, like they might not come down with it, but I like my odds a lot better than Parkinson and whoever the other receiver was at the end there. So I kind of questioned. I don't know if that's decision making or play calling, right? I couldn't see what the other routes looked like.
That happens more often than not. No, like speaking for the Cowboys, like some of the most frustrating moments this year were when Dak, when we would run fly routes for CD and Pickens, and then they'd have like a seam route up the middle, and it would always seem like Dak would look for Turpin, and it's like, why? Why wouldn't you just take your chances? If we're gonna do a 50-50 ball, why wouldn't you take your chance with Pickens or with
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb? Like same thing. I get what you're saying here. Does that feel like that happens with you guys a lot too? Like where it's almost like overthought, and instead of just taking the one-on-one with Justin Jefferson or Christian Watson, they always try to like, we'll just go after the third string cornerback. Do you guys feel like that happens more often than not, or is that's just me?
We don't have a receiver one, so anytime we throw it up, it doesn't really matter.
Okay. That's a shot at Christian Watson, right? A little
No, I
bit.
mean Watson's good, but like he only played half the year. Like Jaden
Well,
Reed only
great though.
played a third
I
of the
would.
year.
I can't be pumping up your own team for you, E-Rob. You got every time we talk, I'm like hyping up your boys, and you're like, we gotta calm down. That's not really
I
what it is.
I like Watson, but I don't know that he's leaps and bounds better than Dobbs or better than Golden or better than Reed.
Okay.
Like I think they're all pretty interchangeable. Now I think our offense is different when Watson is out there because he's 6'4" and a more stretch the field guy, but I don't know that he's leaps and bounds above.
That's PR Earl. That's Earl trying to negotiate for the Packers, so that way
Now,
whenever those contracts come up, we won't be caught off guard when they're not one of the highest paid wide receivers in the league. I see what we're doing here. Green Bay Packers keeping it business. I get it.
there we go. Now,
Oh yeah, but go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, yeah, the Rams offense disappointed me a little bit. I know the weather, I guess, has some factor in it, but
Feels like it had all of it.
I think it's gonna be tough for them at Seattle. Like, I think Seattle, like you said, is the most consistent team. They're gonna be at home. I think it's a completely different matchup if this were in LA, right? Just because it's indoors versus outdoors. So I'm for sure taking Seattle.
Taking Seattle. Oh, dang, you're already giving your pick. It's barely Monday. We haven't even had a chance to react to the Seattle game. What's going on?
Easy peasy. Well,
No,
I'm gonna have to drop before you guys react to the Seattle game. I got to get into the office, but I just wanted to come on and welcome the Bears to Cancun.
Yeah, your background is epic. I love it. Let's show it to the crew one more time. E-Rob in Cancun. If you can see me just a little bit to the right, Borba a little bit to the left, we're all having a good time. Getting margaritas ready. We're just waiting for Bear Down to show up. Their plane got a little bit delayed because of the snow out there, but they will be showing up soon.
Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Earl Robinson. Appreciate you, brother. Have a good one.
All right, see you guys
later.
JB. Man, that Rams game. When I look at it after watching the game, I had to rewatch it. I went to a marriage conference. It was dope. If you guys ever have a chance, go to Waymaker Church. It's such a good feeling. I promise when you walk out of there, you'll feel like a new person. But I ended up having to rewatch it, so I'm running on like 4 hours of sleep because I wanted to know what I was talking about. I didn't just want to go based off of highlights. But man, the tell of two tapes, JB, that I feel like that was the most complete football game of the weekend. It did feel like weather kind of played a factor in all these games, right? Like to me, the one thing that I got out of the weekend is like home field advantage matters, and that was reiterated this weekend, especially as we go over to uh the Houston New England game, bro. The flurries were coming down heavy. The ball was slick. And man, the Houston Texans offense absolutely felt it. CJ Stroud may have had the worst nightmare of his life. Well, I guess the second worst nightmare of his life because of the first round didn't look great either. But yesterday it goes 20 for 47, 212 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions. And it felt like these boys just could not hold on to the ball at all. And I don't know if it was because it was slick or what was going on, but man, Houston dropped the ball. At one point, I was so frustrated with it. I think what I feel right now or how I sound right now is exactly what I felt during that game. My level of frustration and just, bro, I felt so bad for that defense. Like, what a waste of a generational defense. Like, that defense kept them in the game for so long. they almost could have won it. Honestly, that defense could have won it if CJ just had not even an average, just a bad game. Not the worst game of all time. That might have been the worst performance by a quarterback ever. Watching CJ Stroud on Saturday, JB, just made me feel like, wow, I can go out and do what he's doing. This is upset. That's a first round pick. This is nuts what was going on, JB. The guy has regressed insanely from his rookie year when he set the stage for us of what it was possibly going to look like in Houston. And he's been the sole reason why this team has stunk this year. And we kind of saw a little bit last year. We did kind of blame, like throughout the season, we were blaming the offense or the offensive line. Why did they trade Lermy Tunsil? And we kind of saw those effects on the offensive line. CJ Stroud really not having too much time, and it felt like he was in his own head. And every time the ball came out of his hands, JB, I don't know if you thought this also, but every time the ball came out of his hands, it felt like it was going to get picked. So many balls got tipped, popped in the air, and New England probably should have had about 10 interceptions in that game yesterday. But New England's defense looked absolutely insane. What I'm curious about is if Denver's weather isn't crazy like how it was in New England, like Denver's got a shot, because it felt like the weather did favor New England, but also New England had a lot of mishaps too. You know what I mean? The boys were in the backfield. I think Drake May had two fumbles back in their own red zone, and I mean they just got lucky. Like the ball just bounced their way, fell right into their lap, or the first one where Daniil Hunter tries to scoop and score rather than just falling on it, and that was probably just anxiety from their offense not being able to move the ball. But like, yeah. My takeaway from this weekend is home field advantage matters. If you have an outdoor stadium, like if you're Dallas, I don't know that it matters because it favors both teams, right? It's indoor, it's perfect weather. Like you just go out there and play ball. In this case, it felt like the weather kind of played its factor. But what was your takeaways from the Houston Patriots game?
What's next for CJ Stroud? I mean, he lost. I think part of the game plan was to just create chaos around CJ Stroud, and they did a really good job at doing that. I mean, they essentially like eliminated the Patriots. They essentially eliminated the run. Milton Williams in the middle. I mean, they were stopping Willie Marks. Like, he probably averaged like, I don't know. He must have averaged less than 2.5 a carry. I'm assuming he might have had like 1 8-yard rush the entire game, but other than that, man, everything looked hard. There was no run game really for CJ Stroud. And honestly, one of the biggest things, like it was 21-13, right? They get a turnover, I believe. They forced Drake. It was after halftime. They get another fumble, and you're essentially like, I think you're right there in the red zone, like around the 20-25 yard line. You give it to Willie Marks, and he fumbles. Like you have a chance to make that 21-16, or at least 21-19, 21-20, something like that, if they want to go for two. And then you're kicking another three at the end of the third quarter with 2 minutes left. And you could have essentially had the lead going into the fourth quarter, maybe 23-20, something like that. For me, man, CJ Stroud played really bad, and not all of it. I wouldn't take the full blame on him, but you were frustrated after like 2 of those picks. One was across the middle, drop pass, a little high, but I think you still could have caught that. But that's where the weather plays effect and everything. So for me, one thing that was very common through all these games in total, it was the inconsistency of every quarterback except Sam Darnold, because he had everybody else play great for him, and all he had to do was just make a few throws. You know, he had 12 completions in the whole game, but CJ Stroud, a lot of pressure was being put on him because there was no running game, and this Vrabel defense was playing lockdown. They were playing chaotic. They were getting after him. He probably didn't have the most confidence either. The play clock, I mean, the mental clock to throw the ball was probably hurried. That was the whole thing for the Patriots. You know, speed up CJ Stroud's game, get to him as quick as possible, make him speed up his reads, his progressions, and his mental clock for how many seconds he's got to throw the ball. So for me, man, I don't know what they're going to do with CJ Stroud. Does he? Do they ride him out of this rookie contract and then see what happens from there? Extend the guy. I don't think he's worthy of an extension.
Maybe this might sound crazy, but you extend him tomorrow. You extend him at the price, at the value that he put on himself after this playoff game,
Is it worth
because
it though?
yeah, it can be. It can. I know we have to take and we have to factor in the weather into how this game kind of played out. Obviously, the ball was slick, and you could tell the way he was throwing. I mean, every pass was behind. I don't want to say that it was all because of the weather. Obviously, he played a factor in it as well. But I do think you have to take you got to take it with a grain of salt. I mean, a lot of his passes were behind wide receivers. I mean, I think Buddy tore his damn knee because of how bad one of the passes were, one of his tight ends or his second string tight end. But I think right now you get him at the cheapest value that you can get, so that way you can build around
Is
him.
that
Because
worth
the
it
last
though?
time, the
Is it
last
worth
time
it?
that we saw, hear me out. The last time that we saw him be great was his rookie year, right? But do you remember who his weapons were? What was it? It was Tank Dell, Nico Collins, and they had one more. Who else was it?
Yeah,
Help me
Diggs.
out here.
Yeah, Diggs.
And Diggs. Brother, come on. That wide receiver core is crazy. And I believe in the backfield at the time they had what? Joe Mixon?
Yeah.
Am I right there? Like if you can build solid what it comes down to is that this guy is going to need a lot of things to be right around him for him to have success. And the sooner that he realizes that, the better they are off, because they aren't going to have to pay him like a top 5 quarterback. So to me, my takeaway from this game is let's go ahead and extend Stroud right now while we can at the cheapest price that we can get him, and hopefully he falls into that and goes, yes, sir, I'll sign right there on the dotted line, because I know that I'm going to need A, B, C, D, and E to be great in order for me to have success in this league. It sucks for CJ Stroud, but last night or this weekend, that guy lost himself a lot of money. And if you're the Houston's front office, I think that you extend this gentleman so that way you can continue to pay those defensive players, because that's how it's going to have to play out for these guys. Think about that, JB. If this dude even has a decent game, if this guy even has a mediocre game, we're having a whole different conversation right now about this Houston Texans team. The waste of talent that they did on this defense is sickening, bro. It's so sick. You can see it in this dude's face right now. I mean, it's so sick that at one point in the post-game conference, he was asked if he should have removed himself. You know how disrespectful a question like that is, bro? We went from Liam Cohen, someone getting praised, oh my gosh, what a great season, to a reporter asking one of the most insulting questions of all time. CJ Stroud, did you think of possibly pulling yourself from a game? Like, you idiot. Let's listen. Let's listen in.
No, ma'am. I don't think that's smart on my part to, get myself out the game. I don't think my coach would ever do that either. But if he did, I would understand. But I think my whole team trusts me. They believe in me. Today, it just wasn't my day. I believe in myself. Regardless of what happens on the field, I'm going to continue.
Wavered on the idea of pulling you and putting James Mills in.
No, ma'am.
Bro, that's crazy. That's so disrespectful. That's
Yeah,
so
that's
disrespectful,
tough.
bro.
That's a tough look,
That's
and they had every chance to win that game too.
They did.
For like, yeah, not picking up those fumbles. I mean, Daniel Hunter, like I can understand. Like, man, I don't know if the weather just he couldn't pick up the fumble and the picking it up off the ground, whatever. But those are points right there. And then that Willie Marks fumble. I think that Willie Marks fumble really. I don't know, because half of those
Put the
half of those
icing on the cake.
turnovers by CJ Stroud, I think they scored what 14 points off those, maybe 7. But half of those points half of those interceptions, Patriots didn't do anything with them. They got the ball back, they got the stop, and for me, it was about like the Drake May fumbles. Like that was really bad too. That would have been the story if the Patriots lost. The Drake May fumbles, 4 fumbles, 1 interception. Like that's one thing with all these quarterbacks; they're all inconsistent, and we're seeing that. We're seeing all these quarterbacks playing inconsistent football. And it's going to be the same thing next week. I think the real
Well, the
match.
best quarterback got hurt.
Well, I don't know about that, but he played inconsistent too. So it's just at the end of the game. I mean, we'll talk about that in a second, but I think all these quarterbacks are inconsistent. The only dude that set up for the only dude that didn't play inconsistent was Sam Darnold. But he had everything else around him go great. So he didn't have to do nothing. He just had to just control the game, let the run game do its job, everything like that. So for me, it was Drake May, those fumbles, man, they got Patriots kind of got bailed out. I don't believe
They
in
did.
the Patriots. I believe in that defense played really good. They still got
You
some
know, Matt,
weapons,
what's
but
unfortunate is like it doesn't matter if we believe in them or not because it
yeah,
almost feels like they're going to the Super Bowl. I mean, Bo
yeah,
Nix breaking his leg,
yeah,
which we'll talk about here in just a second. But man, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that this playoff season so far has been so great, and the matchup that could have been is being demoralized because of an injury. I hate injuries so much, man. But to talk about the Patriots win and advance to their 16th AFC Championship appearance, tied for the second most all time with the Steelers and Cowboys, trailing only the 49ers with 19. This will be the Patriots' first AFC Championship game since 2018 when they went on and won the Super Bowl, JB. That is crazy. Mike Vrabel became just the fourth person in NFL history to lead the same franchise to a conference championship game as both a player and a head coach when he guided the Patriots to the AFC Championship. Vrabel joined Gary Kubiak from the Broncos, Art Shell, and Mike Ditka as the only individuals to accomplish this rare feature with the same organization. As a linebacker, Vrabel played for the Patriots from 2001 to 2008 before returning to a head coach. I mean, that just feels like a match made in heaven, as some would say. And the Texans fell to 0-7 in the divisional round all time. Their 7 consecutive divisional round losses are tied for the second longest losing streak by a team in a single season round all time. Only the Lions, 9 straight wild card losses from 1982 to 2016 were longer. The Texans remain the only NFL franchise to not appear in a conference championship game. Man, what the hell is in the water in Texas? What is in the water in Texas, bro? Do we stink or what?
bad quarterback play. That's what's in the
Bad,
water.
bad. It's man, bro. It makes me so sad. It makes me so sad. Actually, I genuinely felt bad for CJ Stroud. Like just watching him on the sideline, he didn't seem like
Confidence was gone. Confidence
yeah,
was
it was
gone.
so shot. And what's crazy to me is like no one, or at least it wasn't ever shown on TV, or I haven't even seen anything on this on socials. Like nobody was around him, kind of trying to hype him up. Am I missing that? Did you see something like that? It just felt like he was kind of lonesome in the dump, just like almost like everybody else was just as disappointed as him, but didn't want to go give him that little push that maybe he needed. Even though D'Amico Ryan said he went up to him in the at halftime and told him, "Hey, we believe in you." But it felt like that never actually came to fruition. And it doesn't help whenever all the players around you are also dropping passes. Dalton Schultz obviously goes out early. Nico Collins didn't even start the game because of a head injury. So, like going into it, you were already a little bit behind the line. But this was a moment for CJ Stroud to really show his true colors. And that's kind of what we were waiting for. And it seemed like it never, I mean, it did. It never came to fruition. This whole playoff series for him was I mean, it was such a nightmare, man. So I hope the kid can hold his head up high. And like I said, I think if you're the Houston Texans, I would extend him now. Why not get him at the cheapest price that you can get him? Because you're not going to find anything better. And then what are you going to do? You're going to go draft another quarterback? And then just what 50-50 throw a coin toss. We've seen what the percentages show us of what first round picks become. You know what I mean, JV? Honestly, ask yourself that. What's the better option? What are you going to go do? You're going to trade CJ and then what? Go get Kirk Cousins? And you're going to tell me that's an upgrade? Like realistically, we got to step back and think like, yeah, this is actually a perfect moment for the organization to be able to cut a deal that favors them to where they will be able to build around him because ultimately I think it's the writing's on the wall. This guy is going to need a lot of things to be perfect for him to have success. And it's a perfect setting. Do it. Do it. I think. So I'm not going to be surprised if we see an extension come from CJ Stroud here within the next couple weeks or months in the offseason. Would you agree with me or am I way off here?
I mean, that's a good perspective to take on it for sure. I think if you were to extend him, it's going to have to be something similar to like a Sam Darnold, like a 1 year. Mostly, it's guaranteed, but it's only 1 year, and then from there, the next like 2 years after that, it's going to have to be incentivized, or you're going to have to earn that rest of the contract. Whatever it is. I don't know the details of like the Sam Darnold deal, but I know most of it is just guaranteed this year, and then after this year, you have an option to release him and you're not going to have no dead cap money or anything like that. So it's going to have to be a deal like that. So something similar to like Darnold's, how they set up
Yeah,
his.
for sure. You know, you know what's unfortunate? is we brought on E-Rob, who's in Cancun having a good time. I've been there since November, theoretically. You met me there. I mean, you knew you were gonna be there a long time too. Like I think we both went together, right? I think we booked our tickets together and we both arrived in Cancun. And then E-Rob just came and joined us a little late. And then we're gonna bring on another individual who's also joined us in Cancun. Ladies and gentlemen, Cheech, baby. Cheech.
Yo.
How's it going, bro? Oh no audio.
On mute.
Oh, that's my fault. I muted you. My apologies. Ladies and gentlemen, Cheech.
So I said I'm not in Cancun, but I'm like zenned out, just been an interesting week as a Steelers fan. And
Do we bring Aaron Rodgers back? Don't we bring Aaron Rodgers back? Is he
nah, man,
retiring?
That's a 1
Cheech,
year
who we
thing.
bringing?
it's
Who
over.
the Pittsburgh? Who we looking at? Who's our? Who do we put our eyes on as a head coach? Who we looking for here?
I like Shula from the Rams, especially if he brings the pass game coordinator, Shil Haas. That's how they're gonna say it in Pittsburgh, Shil Haas.
Yes, all right.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
like that. I think that's a better move because they're young, and the Rams defense is pretty good. And I just think we need youth in there. I like Brian Flores too, but I think the thing with Brian Flores is, are you going to get the same thing that you get with Mike Tomlin? It's just a newer voice. Uh, and he has to bring like a really good OC with him. Because if it's just going to be the same thing as it was, then we're just going in a circle with a different coach. I think.
I've seen good old damn. I was about to set that up perfectly, but former Cowboys head coach,
Oh,
former
McCarthy.
Green Bay head
Yeah.
coach.
I don't.
Boy,
I
say
don't
his
know.
name. Help me out here. Where's
McCarthy.
Yeah,
Mike
thank
McCarthy.
you.
Yeah.
Mike
Nah,
McCarthy. What do we
I don't
think about that?
know.
All he does is win. All he does is win. And we've
Yeah,
seen him
but
develop quarterbacks.
No,
the
Dak
same thing
Prescott had
as
some of his best
Tomlin,
seasons.
bro. It's the same thing as Tomlin.
I
You
wouldn't do
think
that.
so? Yeah, Mike
Yeah.
McCarthy. Yo,
They're
the
going
disrespect.
young.
Mike McCarthy calls plays, boys.
It's trash.
Mike Tomlin does this. Come on.
Mike McCarthy's
Come on,
always
Mike.
been trash. Never.
But
No,
I
Mike
think
McCarthy's always
Yo,
been.
watch him out. That's a Super Bowl champ. What are we talking about?
No, Aaron Rodgers won the Super Bowl, not Mike
Oh,
McCarthy.
yeah, he did. Okay. Top 5 defense. Don't forget. Just saying, bro.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
I
You
just
Oh
think
no,
we need
not,
somebody
I mean,
young.
Mike McCarthy didn't do anything with top 5 defense though.
He
So
won a Super Bowl.
who cares? He had the players. That was all players.
We could do that song and
Prime
dance
Aaron
with
Rodgers.
everyone.
Prime
We could
Aaron
do
Rodgers.
that song and
No,
dance with everyone.
if I'm Steelers, you go super young.
Bill
Super young.
Belichick, trash. Why? He had Tom Brady. He had that defense. Like,
I
come
mean, he
on.
is.
Let's not
Look
do
what he's
that.
done since. Look what he's done since.
No, we can't do that. We
Let's
can't
just throw
do
that out
that.
there right now. I mean, it's a player's
All right.
game at the end of the day. It's a player's game at the end of the day. You just got to
All right,
execute what's being called.
We're on demon time. We're on demon time. I see that, JB. With that kind of energy, let's go over to Buffalo, dropping a big one, 33-30 against the Denver Broncos. Bo Nix had himself a pretty decent game, going 26 for 46, 279 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. JB, I was on demon time. I was excited about coming on and talking about that game. I was like, oh, yeah, we're going to grill the Broncos. But, bro, the fact that this man broke his leg and nobody knew. He still goes out and throws a deep route that goes on and leads them to kick the game-winning field goal and still jogs off the field as if nothing is wrong. And I mean,
He
boys,
didn't
we
jog off
got to
the field.
know.
He walked off
He
the field.
knew.
He walked off
Huh?
the field. He walked off the field. He didn't jog off.
You're
gotta watch.
demon time like crazy.
Here's my theory. I think Sean Payton knew. I think they knew because you don't call those 2 plays back to back like that. I think the first PI play was a little, I don't know if you call that one, but it set up the second one regardless, right? So I think you take your shot, boom, there's your shot right there. Okay, you got a lucky PI. And then he's like, okay, something's not right. Take another shot, boom, you get another PI. So I think if Bo Nix was healthy right there, I think you would still be running the offense a little bit. But I think maybe Sean Payton knew about it. Maybe he was the only one that knew about it, that something wasn't right with Bo Nix. But for me, that whole takeaway from that game was you literally had 4 or 5 turnovers. You had 5 turnovers, and you still went to overtime with the Bills, and you still barely won by 3 points. Denver Broncos are the number 1 seed, biggest fraud I've ever seen. Clip that.
All right, all right.
Denver's gonna hate me. All these Bo Nix guys, they're gonna hate me. But Bills lost that game, and you had to get the most flukiest referee decision I've seen in years.
Was it a catch?
I don't know.
Still confused.
From the other two highlights that we've seen, like comparing it, it's a catch in my book. As soon as he touched the ground, he has control of it when he touches the ground. I don't know what happens in that, in the scuffle or whatever, but I don't know. I don't know how you call that one, but for me, tie goes to the offense, but it didn't
Mhm.
yesterday or Saturday, so I don't know. I don't know. People still don't know what a catch is, so I don't know.
Cheech, was it a catch?
I don't know. It has me confused too because you see the one from last night that they ruled was incomplete, or they and I don't know because like I think Devonte Adams like completed the process where he like takes 2 steps and then his knee touches and they're trying to rip the ball out, like just trying to force a fumble. And this one, they're just like kind of fighting in midair for it, and then it looks like he's kind of pulling it as they both go to the ground. So it's confusing. I guess it's just whoever the ref
My
has
my
money
my
on.
the issue that I took on it, and Sean McDermott went on to say after, is like, I hated that they had to call a timeout to try to get the refs to review it. Like in a
Mhm.
playoff situation, we stopped the game for everything else.
But I
For
thought all
everything
turnovers
else.
are
And
reviewable.
one of the biggest calls
Yeah,
that's going to change the trajectory of all these men's careers. I mean, most importantly, Josh Allen's, and we can't just
Mhm.
hold on for a second and just take a look to make sure that it was right. That to me was absurd. Like that, and then to follow it, those two PI calls, questionable as ever. Like what? We're letting these boys bang all game, and we're gonna call that. And then you watch the replay, and it's like Cortland Sutton's dragging Buddy's arm
yeah,
down.
that was hand play right there. I don't think you call
That
that first one. You don't
to
call that
me,
first
that's the
one. The second
craziest
one, I
call.
understand the second one, but the first one set up the second one. That was the only route on the field was Mims versus Tre'Davious White. Like that was
Mhm.
designed to be like, okay, we're throwing it up. That's
And I
it.
don't know. The
Never happened.
picture kind of makes it look like he's tackling him while the ball's like way in
Yeah,
the air.
It's
the only
slow.
thing about that is if we watch the game entirely, I don't know how many catches were contested where PIs could have been called. So they set the tone on how that game was going to be played, and then
Mhm.
in the most important time of the game, we they can't touch each other at all. Like that to me, bro, that's just crazy. Especially, I mean, not after, but yeah, after, especially after that, the whole catch thing. Like
Mhm.
we didn't take time to even review that. But then as soon as anybody gets just slightly handsy, especially when on the first one, the offensive player is the one that's creating that contact. Like,
Yeah.
what? The referees were having such a good game. I remember thinking to myself, like, damn, these refs are letting these boys bang. Like, I love it. This is playoff football. And then they hit us with that, and it's just like, man, they had to make an appearance. The refs had to come out and show, hey, we matter too. Our lives matter too. It's like, bro, come on. It's not about you guys. But damn, you got to feel for Josh Allen. Josh Allen has scored just 3 points in 7 overtime games. He had the ball to win in 6 of those. I felt bad until I started seeing stats come in, and I was like,
I
man,
don't feel bad for him.
Josh Allen might actually be the reason this team isn't getting things done. Maybe when I start seeing the stats come in and stuff, I'm like, I'm starting to turn. I'm like, damn, maybe Josh Allen is the problem here. Maybe he's part of the problem. And what I kept telling people in my group chats with some of our buddies is like, Josh Allen is too good for his own good. And coming into the season, honestly to me, this organization failed this team. The fact that they came in, they pulled the Jerry Jones without us even realizing it. I don't know if anybody noticed that the Buffalo Bills organization pulled the card from the Jerry Jones playbook and said, I believe in the roster that we have right now. And why do they do that? They do that because Josh Allen bells them out day in and day out, and they brought in nobody. Keon Coleman is the best wide receiver on that team, and they weren't even suiting him. He was a healthy scratch towards the end of the season. And they brought in Gabe Davis midseason and thought, this is going to change our offense. No, guys, y'all been getting bailed out by one of the best quarterbacks that we've ever seen. That's really what it was. It's this organization. If we're going to fault on anyone, sure, Josh Allen should have completed that pass to connect to have a perfect walk-off into the AFC Championship. Sure, we could put that on Josh Allen. But he's too good for his own good. They're driving down on that last – before that pick, they're driving down. All they need is 3. And we're calling play calls to kind of force it down the field. Like, come on, man. He's too good for his own – he's so good. He just sees winning. He just wants to win. So as an offensive coordinator or as a head coach, you have to kind of bring that down. You have to force him to play the small game. You have to almost force him to take those checkdowns. Let's just grind this out. We're gonna kind of what the Rams did, and that's why I give a lot of credit to Sean McVay.
Breaking news.
Say that again.
Is this breaking news?
Holy shizzle! They just fired Bill's head coach. Let's look it up. Oh, look, hold on. We got a call right now. Speaking out loud. Nate, what's happening, bro?
They just fired Sean McDermott.
Breaking news from our source, Nate Reyes.
Nate,
per Nate Reyes.
Adam Schefter, he just released it on ESPN.
Holy moly.
Schefter,
oh, yep, it's on my
Nate
TV.
Reyes.
Sean McDermott has been fired. He's 98-50 in 9th season as the Bills head coach. Oh, Nate, thank you for breaking the news on the show, bro. Thank you.
Wow.
All right, let's have a day, Nate, later.
That's what, 9 vacancies now?
They did, yep.
That's 9 vacancies, right?
All right, this is crazy. So me and E-Rob were talking about this after that game this weekend, and we were thinking, like, what has to change? What has to change in Buffalo? And to me, now we have to look at, like, what is the best option for Buffalo? To me, I know I was saying Robert Saleh and Mike McDaniels need to go change the organization in Cleveland. But I actually think Robert Saleh and Mike McDaniels should team up as the all-star duo and go to Buffalo with Josh Allen and go out and win a Super Bowl. You have to buy in. After what Buffalo did to this team, I'm putting this damn thing on the organization. Sean McDermott's the scapegoat. Sean McDermott is the scapegoat for Brandon Beane. Brandon Beane is the GM of the Buffalo Bills. That organization failed this team. That organization failed this head coach. And the fact that they didn't bring in anything to help Josh Allen is a disgrace to football. That's the expectations that we expected with the roster that they put out, that is on the organization of the Buffalo Bills. If Buffalo wants to apologize to Josh Allen, the way you do it is you go get A.J. Brown. That's what you do. You go get A.J. Brown out of his misery from Philadelphia. You go make a trade. You mortgage the future for a Max Crosby or a Myles Garrett or some type of playmaker on defense. You mortgage everything to bring a Super Bowl championship team to this Buffalo, this city of Buffalo. Man, this organization, you guys are POS. Y'all tried Josh Allen out with this damn roster and expected him to get y'all to the Super Bowl. What a disgrace, bro. What a disgrace. And now they're putting it on Sean McDermott. This is crazy, bro.
Here's another thing.
Crazy.
Here's another angle, too. You're talking about these other head coaches. Like, Joe Brady's a good offensive coordinator, though. He called a really good game. That was one of my takeaways for that game against Denver. And not only you could say Sean Payton called a really good game in the first half for Bo Nix, too. That was a really solid game plan that they had. But Joe Brady called so do they hire from within? Do they bring Joe Brady as the head coach, let him keep calling the plays, bring in somebody maybe defensively, and then just retool that roster a little bit offensively? Like, that's another route you could take, because I don't think you get rid of Joe Brady. Like, he's done nothing to be fired. He called a good game.
They should also tell Josh, hey, in the biggest game, are you going to turn the ball over 4 times?
Yeah, like,
oh, come on. All right.
Not all of it's,
No, because you know what? Like, the problem I have is, like, it's all, do you feel bad for Josh Allen? But they, like, none of these sports pages or anything have posted that he had 4 turnovers. It's just him crying. And do you feel bad for him? Do you feel bad for him? And it's like, he needs to be held accountable also for having 4 turnovers. Like that fumble he had where he was scrambling and he was holding that ball like it was a fucking loaf of bread. And then they knocked it out of his hand. Like, you can't be doing that in the playoffs. Like, I get you have to be Superman, but you got to chill out. Yeah. Like, that was a horrible play. That's a horrible play.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely got in his own way. He definitely, and obviously we showed that stat where, he's had the opportunities, he's had the ball.
They changed the rules for that.
Yeah,
They
literally.
changed the rules
Give
for
him a
that.
chance, and every time he has a chance, he's come up short. But man, who's he throwing to?
That's a
You know
problem
what I
also,
mean?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
no disrespect to James Cook, but it's like it's too hit or miss. And they
Mhm.
paid you, brother. They gave you the bag. And Josh Allen still seems to be the best runner on that damn team.
And Keon Coleman
So
hasn't done
I'm with
anything
you.
for
I'm with
what?
you, JB. I was telling when me and E-Rob were talking about it, we were saying like I don't know that they need to. I don't know that they need to fire Sean McDermott because what else? What's the better option out there? This isn't about to me. This is more of a roster thing. Legitimately, JB? We've been saying this for about 4 weeks, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks now. Outside of Josh Allen and that left tackle Dawkins, what else scares you?
I mean, James
What,
Cook had a
Tre'Davious
solid.
White?
He did
No,
fumble
and shout out
though.
to Tre'Davious White for balling, but come on, man.
I mean,
They
James
should
Cook
send that
fumbled
first round
though.
pick for Tomlin. I'll take it.
Nah, now we're just having fun. Now we're just playing fantasy football. I think you're right. I think they hire within. You give Joe Brady his credit, but like to me now, it's like you need to go get that voice on defense, bro. That's why I want them to go get a Robert Saleh and bring in like a Mike McDaniel. Will Joe Brady be accept that offensive coordinator role with with someone else getting the head coach position? I wouldn't think so, right? You would think he's going to go out and
Brady
probably
still
get interviews,
calls the
especially
plays.
after what was that?
Yeah, he's definitely gonna get interviewed.
Brady still calls the plays.
I didn't hear you.
I said I think Joe Brady would still call the plays. I think you bring somebody else, like a younger dude, to run the OC position. But like it's kind of like how Minnesota had it. Kevin O'Connell was calling the offensive plays. Wes Phillips is the offensive coordinator, but he's not calling the plays.
Mhm.
So I think
Well,
you have
they could, you know what? They could bring in that kid from the Rams that everybody's been hyping
No,
up.
to do that too.
They
no,
they could give him
no,
his first OC job. Well, because think about
no,
this, Cheech. You're almost
no.
getting it's almost like an internship. It's an
He's gonna be
internship
wanted,
because ultimately you're not gonna really be calling plays. You're just gonna
right?
kind of be you're gonna kind of be just
That's who
soaking
I
in that
want.
information. Oh,
That's
that's
I
fine.
want.
I got
Yeah, that's who I
that would
want.
make
But
sense. That would make sense if he doesn't get a head coaching job, bringing him to Buffalo.
Mhm,
But I do like the thought of hiring within, and then
mhm.
it just I guess you bring in like a Oakright buddy from Atlanta to come be the defensive coordinator. But why would he just move laterally to Buffalo? But maybe it's because they have a quarterback.
Maybe
I mean,
Raheem Morris.
that job's
Yeah, I
the
was gonna
most.
say Raheem Morris
Raheem Morris could be a defensive candidate. So
because he
from
was a good DC. So he
Because
wasn't a good head
Buffalo is
coach,
the
but he was a
hottest
good
job, right?
DC.
Buffalo is the hottest job now.
I don't know. You still got to find the players. At the end of the day, you still got to make some moves defensively. You're
For sure.
strapped down by the cap space. You're always going to be like that now with Josh Allen's contract. So you're still strapped down. So you got to be smart. You got to bring in
That's
good free
crazy.
agents that fit your scheme, whatever you're going to do defensively. I think you still need a wide receiver one for sure. I think you need to make a move at wide
I
AJ
receiver.
think
Brown.
what you said about them getting AJ Brown, though, I don't know if I agree with that because he got into it with Diggs. Him and Diggs didn't like each other, and I think AJ Brown's more of a diva. And then we saw like when they had Diggs and he had a true wide receiver one, like he just force fed, and that's when he was really bad with his turnovers. That's when Josh Allen was really bad with his turnovers. And I don't know if they want to get him a true like diva wide receiver one, because then he's gonna try to force feed, and then it might just increase his turnovers like he used to
You might
with
just roll
Stephon
it.
Diggs.
Yeah, you might just roll out with the same offensive personnel that
No,
you have this year, and then
you're
just
good.
kind of get free agent, get a couple free agent pickups, get another pass rusher, a couple things like that, because he did have the number one passing defense. You know, statistically, I don't know if they played like it, but and you had a couple injuries defensively too, so
Yeah, that
maybe
pass defense
well,
that Bo Nix just slice and dice, that number one pass defense. It seems like that
Hey
number one
man,
pass defense
stats.
doesn't show
You
up.
got to
that's
do
what
I
I
eye
don't
mean.
test,
I think
bro.
you
It's
still
all
need
about eye
another.
test.
And Nick
God, they were
Harrison,
getting cooked, bro. What are we talking about?
Nick
I
Harrison
mean,
was hurt too.
outside of those PIs, let's not remember before those PIs happened, Bo Nix took the lead with a dime pass to Mims on the left side on a deep pass. Like, come on, man. Their best
Corners
their
get
best
beat.
DB is Tre'Davious White, bro. And that's no shot at T White because he's a dog, but it's our he's been how long has he been there? Coming off how many injuries? Like, we expect him to just
Pretty
be fully
old
healthy
too.
next year throughout the like, come on, man. This
Corner
organization has
safety.
to do something, bro. Honestly, this organization is a product of exactly of their success. And it's just everybody. We all feel so bad for Josh Allen, so it's like they almost take advantage of our sympathy. Really, think about it, bro. This Buffalo Bills organization is no better than what Jerry Jones does. If this was the Dallas Cowboys, which is exactly what they did this year, well, I'm good with this roster. I'm good with this defense. Matt Eberflus is going to get it
That's
together.
true.
Like, what? We knew
That's
what the
true.
defense was going to look like going into the season. We knew what this offense was going to look like going into the season. We've been saying Josh Allen's got to be Superman. Josh Allen's got to be Superman. I don't know how many times I see it on TV, and we keep hyping it up, glorifying it, because he's just hiding all the small issues that they do have, and now we put it on Sean McDermott. Maybe Brandon Breen needs
Do
to
they
look in
bring
the mirror.
Dable back?
Ooh, that would be good. That was the last time they had legitimate.
That Josh
They
is
need
like
someone. They need someone that can bottle up all that energy that Josh Allen has as a quarterback, because he
to
kind of
calm him down.
does it to himself. Like, he's so damn good that he does too much sometimes. He's so damn
Yeah,
good.
they
He
need
does too
somebody
much.
to calm him down and
Yeah,
to
bring him
like
back.
to dumb him down a little bit. Hey, you don't need to be Superman every play. They just need somebody to kind of dumb him down and let him just play, let the game come to him instead of him trying to make the
Yeah.
home run play every time.
But you know what? Then you look at Josh's contract, and you're like, okay, you're one of the top quarterbacks
Yeah.
paid in the league. So, like, your roster is a product of your salary. Like, unless you renegotiate, it's going to be hard to bring in a bunch of talent when you're taking up the majority of the salary cap. And
And they have
that's why
good
we
tight
see
ends.
look at all the success we see on defenses, and all these guys are on rookie contracts. Drake May, rookie contract. Bo Nix, rookie contract. Help me out. Who else we got? CJ's still on a rookie contract.
Yeah,
Like,
CJ, yeah.
Caleb,
look
Jaden
at all
Daniels.
these guys that
Caleb.
have all this around them, but they're still
There's so
on
many
rookie
second year
contracts.
players that are outplaying Josh in the playoffs right now. Really, if you think about it.
All
I
these
don't know.
second year QBs, what do they have in common though? They have a pretty decent running game that we saw, and then they got a defense. The defense makes plays. That's what's winning games, and that's what kept Caleb Williams and the team in it. The defense actually stepped up and kept the Rams stagnant,
I
throughout
mean,
that
their
game.
defense looked good yesterday.
Yeah,
Yeah, their
Yeah.
defense looked real good. I don't know if it was just the weather and like the LA
could be the
type
weather.
of thing, but they were just flying to the ball.
Could be that
Covering and
playoff
boys are
football,
yeah.
got to step up and be better. So there's a lot of things in common with these second year quarterbacks. A lot of these quarterbacks, they got a running game, good defense.
I mean, even Darnold's in the conference
Darnold's
championship.
in that category. Yeah, Darnold's in that category too, man. Like
He's
got
not taking up
defense,
the majority of the
running
cap space. It's a team friendly deal.
Mhm.
Like that, I wonder. You
game.
wonder,
They made that
like,
move, though. They brought in a
you
lot of
wonder.
good Seattle.
Say that again.
Seattle brought in a lot of good pieces though this offseason as well.
Yeah,
Like
you got
not
money.
only Darnold, but all these other guys. They're
When
drafting.
you got the money, to
the
do
agents
it, bro.
are good.
And
Trade.
JSN broke out.
Jason's so good, so
Yeah,
good.
Jason's good.
Hey, how about Shaheed, bro? Like,
Shaheed
he
was
set
so
the
good.
tempo.
fast.
Let me tell
I'm
you.
watching.
Fast.
Let me tell you what the Seahawks have done this past year. First of all, they
Go ahead.
hired Mike
Percy
McDonald. We'll say this real quick and then we'll get off. But they hired Mike McDonald. They signed Leonard Williams. They obviously got Sam Darnold, DeMarcus Lawrence, who's been a resurgence to his career. Josh Jobe, Cooper Kupp as another option. He went off this week against San Francisco. Jaron Reed, along with those two other D tackles that they got, Byron Murphy, who they drafted, Nick Emenwari, AJ Barner, good red zone tight end. Torrey Horton, another good wide receiver, is like a third or fourth option. And then Elijah Arroyo, too. And then they traded for Rashid Shaheed and Ernest Jones, the defensive linebacker. So, like, all those moves, like, it's paying off. You have a full team built around Sam Darnold, where Sam Darnold doesn't need to be Superman. Just control the game. Literally a game manager to the fullest right now. You take that and you just ride it.
You just
and
can't make
everybody else.
mistakes.
It seems like everybody
Mistakes.
else is making them, right? Except for the one guy that has the biggest question mark, according to every big network in the world, Sam Darnold. But yeah, he's the one that's protecting the ball the most. I still think the Rams are the best team coming out of the NFL right now, but Damn, that sets up
Hard to
for a
say that.
beautiful game this weekend. And tonight we got the Miami Hurricanes against the Indiana Hoosiers. Man, what a hell of a way to end um, football week or a football weekend to cap it off with the national championship game. Let me just get y'all's prediction, Cheech. Who's winning tonight?
I got the Hoosiers. I think they're gonna be the
Who-
first
Hoosiers.
16-0. I think it's 16-0 team in college football history.
Yeah, no. Shout out to
Good
all our
old
Raider fans.
Fernando.
Shout
Maybe
out to all the Raider
Alberto gets
fans.
in today.
Shout out to all the Raider fans who are enthusiastic about their quarterback possibly winning a national championship. So shout out to Raider Nation there,
Hey,
man. But
I
JP,
mean, we could start a whole thing with that too. Like, do Raiders trade back because Fernando, gets some up and down reviews on him lately. I mean, people are starting to really critique him. They're like, is he really worth a first round pick? This guy that's got like a Jared Goff ceiling, maybe is he really a first overall pick?
yeah,
Or do the
Jared Goff
Raiders
also
trade
got to
down?
the Super Bowl. So I don't know if that's the worst thing in the world either.
They got to stop hating on the Cuban Missile Crisis.
The
That's what his
Yeah,
Cuban
nickname
Missile.
is.
Hey, Cuba's
yeah.
not what it used to be anymore. Some things are. Is it? I don't know. To be determined. But anyways, maybe there's a lot of reports. I was watching the news yesterday, and I guess Fernando Mendoza's their hotel has been getting rung up like crazy. Somebody went and did a security check in the middle of the night to go wake him up. He actually had to be removed from his room to put into a new room because of the volume of phone calls that were coming in to keep this guy awake.
And
JB,
Miami fans are working.
That's
yeah,
crazy.
and they're at home. That the crazy part is they're basically a home game. But
It is.
we saw what the semifinals game also looked like. It was about 85% Indiana Hoosiers, and the money that's funneling into Indiana. I wouldn't be surprised if someone like a Mark Cuban went out and bought like the majority of the seats and just handed them bad boys out for free. Because this is you don't know if you're ever going to be back in this situation, especially if you're a school like Indiana. But with the amount of money that's funneling into that school, I'm not going to be surprised if they're back again. But JB, who wins tonight?
I really like Miami, but I just think Indiana's just the most complete team this year. They really are. They I think they just beat everyone. I mean, we saw what they did to Oregon. I mean, geez, man, it's hard to think that Miami can win this game. I like Miami. I like everything about Miami, but Indiana, man, I just think they're the best team this year. They're the best team in college football. So I think they're going to take it.
Who?
One thing for all you Notre Dame fans, you were crying about Miami being in, and now they're in the national championship.
Now look,
So shut up. And then you guys decided you guys don't want to play USC anymore. You guys rather play ENMUR and all these other little schools and want to get into the damn playoff game. No, it's over. Join a conference, quit crying, schedule some good people. You guys got to stop beating intramural teams. It's over.
Yo, don't do that to my Catholic brothers. Come on,
It's
man.
over. I'm Catholic too, but it's over.
yeah, dude, get
Yo,
rid of
that's
the intramural
hilarious.
teams, dude.
Well, I appreciate you guys rocking with us. Cheech, appreciate you joining. Shout out to E-Rock for
No
joining the
problem.
show. Thank you. And just for our buddy here, Santiago, one of our most loyal followers, with the first round pick in the NFL draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Fernando Mendoza, quarterback from Indiana. Yeah, shout out to the Raiders, man. Appreciate you guys rocking with us. We'll be back tomorrow at 6:30 Mountain Standard Time to get a little more in depth, to read a couple more stats as things start to come out. We'll be back. And don't forget, we have a phone line that you can use. Use it before we have to cut it off because we've only gotten like 4 phone calls throughout the year, JB. A little disappointed. It's okay. It's okay. I appreciate you guys following along. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And also be a friend and tell a friend. And don't forget, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Shout out PMS. See ya.